Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is Carmina, Vedic astrologer and reader with the cards of truth. And today I thought we would do a video about the ACES. So the ACE cards in the cards of truth. And let me just remind you that you can always go to my website, yourstars.align.com, to check out the reading services I have to offer with both cards of truth and astrology. And you can always check the articles I wrote about the cards of truth because they're very detailed, they're very fun to read. So I think if you enjoy the cards of truth, you would enjoy reading that. Okay, so the ACES. The ACES, the ACE card. What does the ACE card tell you? Well, of course, it's kind of a special card, like the face cards, in that it has a letter and not a number. See, it's not number 1, it's A. A is both the first letter of the alphabet and it's also the first card in the deck. So it's a pretty special card. And what do they represent? Well, some books say ACEs are a desire for something. I would say yes, the word desire is appropriate, but I don't think it's complete to just say it's just one desire. Since it's the first card and since we associate it to the sun, which is the first planet and the vivifier, as the Sanskrit texts tell us, Savita, vivifier, it's the birth, right? So it's the life-giving card. It's the birth of something new within us, the birth of a potential. And that potential is different according to the suit that the ACEs are in. So we have red ACEs and then we have the black ACEs. And the red ACEs have the more feminine yin energy. They are more receptive in a way. They are more, feeling oriented. And they are more attuned to the water and the earth energy. They are like the bone structure of the rest of the deck, like the skeletal structure on everything, on which everything else is built. Because anatomically, the sun that corresponds to the ACEs, it manifests as the bone structure, the skeletal system in our bodies. So the ACEs are the foundation on which we build something, on which the rest of the deck is built. Of course, they have the energy of number 1 within them, and they also contribute to the energy of the Jack card, so of the Uranus card. They are quintessential in the manifestation of the Jack card. What else can we say about it? Okay, so red ACEs, Ace of Diamonds, Ace of Hearts, receptive, feminine. Ace of Diamonds is the beginning of something concrete, a new potential. It can be something as concrete as a plot of land, because diamonds also relate to minerals and to land. You know, they are the suit that are closest to matter. So they can represent minerals, jewels, land, but also money, so concrete value that has been materialized. And they can also represent concrete skills, like you're learning to play an instrument. That's a concrete skill. You're learning a new astrological technique. That's a concrete skill. So something that you are educating yourself towards to have concrete results. That's the Ace of Diamonds. It's the birth of a new concrete and valuable potential. And you can look at the Ace of Diamonds. You know, some of you probably are Ace of Diamonds birth cards. So you will be infused with that energy that you have this potential of bringing something valuable to the world. But what that potential will be is influenced by the rest of the cards in your spread. So the 13 other cards, and especially the planetary placements and the cusps in the cards of truth. So, you know, it's hard to say that if you're an Ace of Diamonds, you're gonna do this and you're gonna be like this. You can say some things that will be accurate, because the life path will always be the same for an Ace of Diamonds. The life path will be a 9 of Diamonds. So being open, being like a channel, being a fool, because also the aces, the red aces, they correspond to the full card. No, actually not the full card. The red aces correspond to the moon card in the major arcana, and the black aces correspond to the sun card in the major arcana. I said the full card because I was thinking about the red nines, the 9 of Diamonds, which is the path for the Ace of Diamonds. That corresponds to the Fool. But it's interesting to correlate it even like that. So if you're born an Ace of Diamonds, your path will be, you know, the end of the cycle. You're born the beginning of the cycle, and your path will be to complete that cycle, because nines are always a completion phase, a conclusion, a realization, an end of something, and where we give up something. So at the 9 of Diamonds, we give up our attachment to diamonds, and we realize that our skills are as important to other people's skills, and it's fine. You know, the nines are always a stage of letting go. So it's interesting how that plays out. Okay, so enough about the Ace of Diamonds. Let's talk about the other red ace, the Ace of Hearts. The Ace of Hearts has a watery energy, an energy that's focused on a new feeling. That can be, I love something, I hate something, but something, you know, you feel passionate about. So it can be someone new in your life. Many times when you see an Ace of Hearts coming into your spread, it can be you're falling in love with someone new, or it can be you're having a new attitude, a new passionate attitude about something, or it can also be a new child in your life if the other cards are supportive of that hypothesis. So yes, that's the Ace of Hearts, and that's a bus. Okay, so let me just check for 1 second what the path for the Ace of Hearts birth card is. 1 second. Okay, so if you are an Ace of Hearts birth card, then your life path will be the Jack of Clubs. So it's a similar energy, because as I was saying, Jacks contain within them the aces, the twos, and the threes. So if you're an Ace of Hearts, your life path will be that of starting new projects, starting new intellectual and creative projects. Not necessarily finishing them, because Jacks are all about, they're excited about starting new things. So, you know, you would like to be a pioneer and start a lot of interesting things, but not necessarily bring them to a conclusion, because you may be bored until then. Of course, the rest of the spread and the planets will let us know how, especially the state of Saturn, because Saturn is all about finishing things right. So if you have a good Saturn, a well dignified Saturn, for instance, Saturn in Libra, that's exalted, Saturn in Aquarius, that's either own sign of Mula Trikona, so very energized, Saturn in Capricorn, or if you have Saturn delighted by Jupiter, or in a friend sign in Virgo, in Gemini, in Taurus, in, you know, if you have a good Saturn that's not afflicted by its enemies, it's a good chance that you can also bring your projects to fruition. But what you'll be most passionate about is to start these things. Of course, when we look at the birth spread, not only the birth card um, is the thing that shows who we are. We also have to look at the card the ascendant is in. We have to look at the Lord of the card the ascendant is in. We have to look at the card the soul planet is in. And then the Lord of the card of the soul that rules the soul planet. So we have to look at these things, as well as the sun card, where the sun is especially for a man, and the moon card, and where the moon is especially for a woman. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration. That's why there are so many different type of people. But just even without knowing all the planetary placements, the card spread alone will give you a good idea of the person's you know, psychological makeup and their path that they are on. Okay, so enough about the Ace of Hearts. Let's talk now about the Black Aces, which are beginning something, but in a more active manner, because the red cards, the red aces, they are a softer energy. They are more receptive to what's around them. And the black cards always have to work harder. So the Ace of Spades, for instance, you know, that's considered as the most occult card. And what does occult mean? Occult means, just, I'm gonna change it a bit because it's windy and I don't want you to hear the wind here. So you can see the seaside now. Occult means hidden. So the Ace of Spades is the card that goes deepest into the deepest layers of themselves to find that which is most hidden. And that which is most hidden is, of course, the truth. So if you are an Ace of Spades birth card, you have that you know, you have that inclination of digging psychologically deeper into things, and first and foremost into yourself, to find out the truth of who you are. That's the most important thing to you, who you are. And let's check 1 second what the path for the Ace of Spades is. Okay, so the path for the Ace of Spades is the Six of Hearts. So they're on the path of emotional fulfillment. But if you look at the Ace of Spades spread, they have these kings and they have this 2 on the Saturn card. So they have to make a lot of sacrifices, and it's not easy for them to be emotionally fulfilled. So although they are on that path and they're doing their best, there's a lot of challenges for them. Of course, as always, you have to look where the other planets, where the planets are placed. And that way you will see, like, if that individual will be able to fulfill their emotional needs. in a way that is validated by the world, because, you know, the Six of Hearts can be the marriage card. And I see so many Aces of Spades, unfortunately, having a lot of difficulty with emotional fulfillment and with relationships, because if you can't be self-fulfilled, nobody else can fulfill you, of course. And then, yes, so yeah, all the spades card usually, so people who have self factors, who have their birth card in a spade, or you know, the ascendant lord, sun, moon, soul planet, which is the planet with the highest degrees. If they have it in a spade, you know, there'll be more a bit of loners and focused on themselves, because that's what the spade suit is an introspective suit. It's preoccupied with, you know, doing their work in the world, and that includes their inner work. Okay, so last but not least, we have the Ace of Clubs, which is another manifestation of the sun energy. It even corresponds to the sun in the tarot major arcana cards. So, you know, clubs are all about ideas, philosophy, intellect, manifesting your creativity, doing what you like professionally. So the Ace of Clubs is new ideas, starting something new, a potential for a new, it can be, you know, sometimes it can be a new job, the Ace of Clubs, because it's something, it's a potential that you haven't developed yet. It's, you know, an idea. Or it can be like, okay, I'm thinking of writing this book. I have this idea. So it's just a pure idea, a pure potential, and how we develop it depends on, of course, the rest of the planetary combinations and our own free will, of course. So let's see what is the path for the Ace of Clubs. 1 second. Okay, so the path for the Ace of Clubs is the Nine of Clubs. Isn't that interesting? For the Aces of Diamonds and for the Ace of Clubs, the path are nines. So they have to complete that cycle. The Nine of Clubs is a person who's like a hermit, because of course it corresponds to hermits in the major arcana. If you haven't seen my video on the energy of the nine, I'm going to post the link somewhere here or in the description box below. And so in a nutshell, they're on the path of, you know, being more isolated with their inspiration, doing their work. The black nines are, you know, they're focused on their work. The Nine of Spades is more focused on their inner work and reaching a high level with that, and being more isolated and focused on that. And the Nine of Clubs is doing your professional work, or whatever you want to call it, something that you're passionate about, and reaching a high level of expertise with that, and kind of being more isolated from the world, just you and your thing, bringing it to a completion, to a conclusion. So let me just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, it looks like it's the Nine of Clubs for the Ace of Clubs. So what can we learn from this? It's interesting that the clubs and diamonds are very compatible, and the Ace of Clubs and the Ace of Diamonds have very compatible birth cards and paths in life. And the Ace of Spades has a Six of Hearts as a path, and the Ace of Hearts has a Jack of Clubs. So Yeah, we can, let me check a little. The ace of clubs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, for the ace of clubs, they have a 7 of hearts on the Venus card. That will always be difficult because relationships for them will be like an arena where they have to let go of their egocentric emotional needs. That's one thing. But depending on, you know, maybe the Venus card is placed in such a manner that it helps them, because I see a lot of ace of clubs that are married and have fulfilling relationships, but I guess they mastered letting go of their egotistic needs, egotistic emotional needs. So yeah, I guess that's one of the keys for relationship success for people with an ace of clubs birth card. Okay, so you let me know if you have other questions, and I'll come back soon with another card video because I really enjoy making these videos for you guys. If you're interested in a reading, check out the reading section in my website. I also do some classes, usually on Saturdays, workshops on the cards of truths, and I also do private tutoring if you're interested in deepening your card knowledge, okay? So yeah, I'll see you guys again soon. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Bye.